Get started.
Hey, you all, where's everybody at today? I'm in Portugal, Sophia's in Canada, I think Andrew's in Greece. So pretty good time zone coverage, I think, at the moment.
Just waiting for a few more people and then we're going to get started.
Cool. Sounds great.
All right, perfect. All right, so thanks everyone for joining us. My name is Sophia and I work at East Global. Today we're hosting a workshop with Base, and it's going to be an overview of building on Base. And with that, I'm going to give it to Will to take it over from here. Thanks, Will.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Sophia. Yeah, so I'm Will, work on the Base team at Coinbase. Been working on Base since the beginning, February 2023. Bet, I see you there in the chat. Good evening to you. I think it's so cool that when we do these, like it's literally people all around the world. I always say, like at the beginning of these, like, hello, friends, because I feel like even though we don't know each other, we're all part of this space because we left something to connect with what we felt like was going to be better, to build something better. This old kind of closed legacy chain of systems just like literally breaking down in front of us, and really excited about the super hack. And I feel like that's something that we can all build a friendship on. So, but yeah, so I'm Will. I've been actually in the crypto space since about 2013, started in Bitcoin, working on bitcoin.org, the domain Satoshi Nakamoto used to release the tech, moved on to Ethereum. And for the last almost a full year, we're at our 1 year anniversary of Base on mainnet. I've been working on Base. And so just summarizing that in a nutshell, spent a lot of time working in the Bitcoin space. So many talented people there. But whether that was on the developer side, like a bunch of you all, also on the end user side, one thing that always came up is like, hey, we can't use, like, always some criticism about, hey, we can't do this at scale. It's too slow. It's going to take 10 minutes to confirm, or sometimes more, sometimes less. We can't use that to buy a cup of coffee. We can't use it for just everyday type things. We can't use Bitcoin script to build next generation decentralized applications. And so it was really cool when Ethereum launched, a new wave, and also a lot of people from the Bitcoin space dabbling in both ecosystems. But quickly, like with that, like, hey, we can build smart contract applications now. Like this is it, y'all. Quickly with that rapid growth, we saw a different type of problem, which was this is super fast. We can build applications on it, but it's too expensive. We can't use this for a cup of coffee. The transaction fee's too high. And so, it's continuing to grow like every year. There's so many talented people in this space. And I love this super hack because it's just like such a great opportunity now for all of us to congregate around a point in time where we're actually not limited by the technology anymore. On L2, on the OP stack, unbiased, on base, it's actually possible to unlock a whole world of new novel use cases to really, I think, in my opinion, make the planet better. Whether that's like remittances, just permissionless settings, like, hey, you want to work with somebody, you want to collab with somebody on the other part of the planet, that's on you. That's great. You don't have to ask anybody else. Also, if you're on one side of the planet, you're really talented, and you want to work with somebody on the other side of the planet, there's not this whole kind of like web to, oh, you're in this country. Well, I think yeah, you usually get paid less there, right? Or, oh, wow, you're in this. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're probably, it's probably really. I feel like one of the best things about this entire ecosystem is it's just like a completely open meritocracy where if you work hard, you build things, you add value to this ecosystem, you can make a better life for yourself. And I know that for me, that's my story, moving throughout the space. And so, as I mentioned, I've been working on Base since February 2023. And in this workshop, just want to give you basically an overview of everything that you need to know to get started in this super hack. Talking a little bit about the prizes, just from whatever developer background you're in, whether that's like you're super skilled, like you just deployed like a complete Uniswap clone last week, or you're just breaking into the space. Maybe you're a super talented Web2 developer. I'm going to go over that today. So that said, I actually have COVID right now. My whole family got it, so I feel pretty good at the moment, but I can't smell anything, and my throat's a little raspy. So if I have a coughing fit, please forgive me. But elsewise, doing pretty good. But just if you're like, what's going on with Will? He seems like a little slow. I'm literally sick right now. So, anyways, I wouldn't miss this for the world. Really thankful to be part of this here with you all. So, that said, if at any point you see something that I said, you see something that I'm looking at on my screen, I'm the kind of person that rather than trying to do like decks and stuff like that, I really like to walk through things together and be more immersed. So if I'm showing something on my screen, you have a question about it, post it in the chat. If you're watching this recording later, you can reach out to me on base.org/Discord. Also, if you're in the ETH Global Discord, we have our own base channel over there, and I'm in there as well. You can tag me in there. I'm WBNNS, and just don't be a stranger. Happy to help you however I can. So ask away if I say something that piques your curiosity. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try to share my screen here. Let's see. There we go. Sophia, it looks like my permissions are still good. Thank you very much for setting me up. And so, hopefully y'all can see my screen now. Up there in the top right part of the screen is a little sneak peek of something. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from that, but stay tuned for that imminently. Base.org. Base.org is the homepage for Base. Base is built on the OP stack, just like a bunch of other super talented teams working on top of this OP stack. It started well beyond February 2023. It's actually been a project within Coinbase for years now, looking to finally unlock crypto, unlock people on chain in a way like I was talking about, where we're finally not limited by confirmation times, transaction fees. That's the goal of Base, is to leverage the OP stack to literally bring the world on chain. And so we feel like that there's a lot of problems on this planet, and a lot of that is caused by just these closed systems that literally just shut people out. Like, I'm originally from the US. I feel like that's a gift to be able to be born in the US. And I don't think that's fair that there are millions of people born in other parts of the world that just because they were born somewhere, they actually don't have access to certain things, like being able to just pay someone, being able to just work and earn like an honest living. I think that's BS, frankly, that that even exists on this planet. And so it's not just me that feels that way. We're all part of this really gigantic Base ecosystem, and we're all trying to build something together. And so being on the OP stack here on base.org, definitely check out our apps page just for like some inspiration. Literally, you can build all kinds of things on Base. I think the average transaction fee on Base for sending ETH right now is fractions of a cent. To send USDC, it's actually free if you're using Coinbase Wallet or Smart Wallet, which I'll talk a little bit about. Our goal is to make it as easy as possible for people to connect with an open economy, and that everybody has an equal opportunity to be part of it. So here on base.org/ecosystem. You can do just a quick scroll if you're entering into the Superhack, like what's on Base? I have an idea, like I want to do something like with NFTs, like definitely check this out. Click into the NFT category. There's literally all kinds of things right now to, I think, really help you get more inspiration and connect the dots to just kind of compare for, okay, this is how they're solving a specific problem that I was thinking about. I would recommend spending like, a good maybe 20 minutes. If you aren't sure, half an hour, you have kind of like a fuzzy idea, take a look at base.org/ecosystem, take a look at the categories, and check out just some of the apps that are built on Base. It's a great way to, I think, get more ideas about connecting the dots for what you're going to do during the super hack. And so that said, what are we doing in the super hack? So Base is sponsoring $20,000 worth of prizes. We have 4 different tracks that you could submit an app in. And one thing that you might notice with regard to Base is like, we feel like this on-chain economy, it's not dApps anymore. It's not decentralized applications. It's not even just on-chain apps, which is a newer term. It's just apps. Like we're building something that like we want people to use because it's cool, to come online and connect to a new internet, of using new technology that's just completely open and permissionless. And so we're not trying to invent any new terms. It's just apps. And so with Base, it's not the Base blockchain. It's not the Base network. It's just Base. And so with this super hack, our goal is to just try to enable you to build better on Base. And so with that said, we do have 4 different prize tracks. Best apps built for creators on Base. We're going to pick 4 teams there for that. What does that mean? So like if you look at, say, like an app like Zora.co, that's a great example of an app that's built for creators. If you look at mint.fun, if you look at highlight.xyz, those are all examples. OpenSea is another, of course, kind of household name if you've been in this space long enough for creators. So that's the type of category that we're referring to. But also, like, I think there's a bunch of great ways to also think about getting into enabling creators on Base. We think of NFTs a lot about just in the form of pictures. And Zora, I think, has been innovative here, also bringing in video NFTs. But there's also now on-chain music. So like an example of that would be sound.xyz. And so, just really we're trying to open up a new way for creation, which in some form or fashion, all of us can relate to. If you've ever posted on X or Facebook or a Web2 social network, in that moment, you're creating something. If you ever posted on Instagram, you're creating something. But, it's a cliche, but it's also true. On these other networks in Web2, we are literally collectively the product. We are feeding ad algorithms. And so we believe that there's a new opportunity now for value that we create in our own lives, value and engagement that we have with others, interactions that we have with each other, people that are really interested in something that you're doing. Maybe you're really into fitness or surfing or programming, or it really could be anything in your own life. There's so many people on this planet that there's a really great likelihood that a lot of people are interested in that too. And so thinking about how you talking about just what you're doing in the context of your day or week, producing value, other people connecting with that, liking what you're doing, maybe buying an NFT for some type of correspondence to something that you launched. These are like part of a future world that we think about where we're all participating equitably in that type of setting. So anyways, best apps for creators. And then I think the other one's pretty straightforward. Payments. This one's kind of like my personal favorite. I really connected early on in Bitcoin with just this whole idea of like, wow, that's like BS. I can't pay somebody just in another country. I just can't do that easily. Or, oh, I have to wait a week. Or I want to send them $25. It's going to cost 15 or maybe even the same depending on the bank or more, just to pay them, just to do like honest business with somebody. Like I feel like we're all getting ripped off. And so that really like spoke to me and pulled my soul to like, I really want to be doing something more in this space. Like we're all on this planet together. These closed systems are literally dividing us and conquering us. What if there was a better system that we could all use to just say the hell with that? Like, let's work better together. And so payments, I think, is really cool. Getting back to what I said though, like, some ways Bitcoin's very slow. Of course, there's Lightning now, which is awesome. But there's still like really tricky edge cases there. And so even on L1, now we can build like badass smart contract applications. But depending on the amount that you're trying to transact and pay somebody, it actually might be more to pay the transaction fee. So here we are on L2 on base. And so best apps built for payments on base. That's my favorite category. So 4 teams are going to pick there. And then just quickly going through this, best apps built for social. We have these like, we're building our own tribes on these existing social networks like crypto Twitter, now crypto X. We're probably like one of the most significant blocks in my mind on X. Like we have so much say and so much pull and weight with things that we engage with collectively, yet we still don't have our social network asterisk unless you've used Farcaster. I'm a huge fan of Farcaster. If you've never checked out Farcaster, it's farcaster.xyz. And what it is it's moving towards a fully decentralized. It's kind of like a combination of Reddit and X because you have like channels on Farcaster. If you want to download a Farcaster client, check out warpcast.com. And so with channels, it's kind of like a subreddit, but then you also have your own feeds. And so if you sign up and you want to write something, post out there to your network, it looks kind of similar to Twitter. It's also got really cool ways that you can build on top of it using things that are called Farcaster frames, where you literally can mint, you can transact, like you can generate like a straight up like wallet transaction without even leaving the site. You can't do any of that like on these Web2 social networks. So just as an example, like building something on top of Farcaster would be an example of something built for social on Base. Base actually is one of the choice networks. I think has the majority of people doing transactions on Farcaster, doing it on Base, which is really exciting. And it's just a really cool thing because when we look at this OP stack, the super chain as a whole, like we don't see ourselves like as like an island, but rather like a bridge to all types of different ways that you can do cool things on chain. And in the future, online, where we don't even have people thinking like, oh, I'm on chain, off chain. It's like almost like TCP/IP in the early days of the internet, like kind of dating myself. But I don't know if you ever got online and then you had to like configure your TCP/IP adapter. Like now that sounds like ancient Egyptian to a lot of people. If you had to explain, okay, you need to do X, Y, and Z. We're still in that place right now in crypto. A lot of people coming on chain for the first time. There's all these like words, confusing jargon. But in the future, they're just going to use things. And so going back to this example, like they're just using apps. Like they might be using one app, it's on Base. They might be using another app, it's on OP. And that's cool. It doesn't matter. It's just we're all coming on chain together. And so that's kind of like the mental model um, that I would put forth as like this open economy where we're not like, maxis, like, hey, it's only this, it's only that. We're actually all doing this together. So, and then lastly, best apps built for trading. Super straightforward. Like DeFi has been the killer app, I think, speculation and crypto. But most importantly, like new ways to connect people to this. Like there's still a lot of opportunities, in particular with TradFi, that actually hasn't been able to come on chain because of the fact that it's way too expensive. On-chain order books, for example. Also, like in the Oracle space, like being able to update information on chain so that people can build markets around it, like the price of a barrel of oil, coffee, we could go on and on. A lot of those types of things are actually still up until the super chain really hard to do. And so those are good opportunities to be thinking about in your mind. We're still in the early days, so you could literally be one of the first builders or teams bringing new novel ways for TradFi to connect to DeFi. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm going to do a quick just drive through parts of Base now, just to give you kind of like a high level overview of everything that you need to know, like you're interested in building on Base. And so, like I said, if you see any questions, definitely ask them in the ETH Global Discord in the Base channel. You can also come to base.org/Discord and ask them there. Like again, don't be a stranger. Like we're super just like open and love meeting new people. Our community is one of the largest communities on chain in all of Web3. And so I think that like ethos of like, hey, we're all part of doing something better together. Like as I said at the beginning of this workshop, hey friends, like we don't know each other, and a lot of us in this ecosystem collectively have that like lack of closeness, but we all really connect on this main point of trying to build a better world. And it sounds cheesy if you're not in the mood to hear that, but if you join the ecosystem, if you start like following like x.com/base, just hanging out in our Discord, it's probably one of the most meaningful things that I've ever worked on in my professional career. And so I've been in tech since 2003, and yeah, I think from beyond that, just if you're interested, curious, come hang out and just start following whatever piques your interest. So, all right, so I wanted to go ahead now and hop on over to just getting started on Base. So right in front of us here, we have our docs.base.org website. This is going to be your one-stop shop for getting started in this super hack. And so most importantly, like these 3-section docs, tutorials, learn, I think are really good ways to also segment like your level of understanding and experience building on chain, building Web3 apps. So, if you're new to coming into Web3, this is like your first hackathon, you're really trying to connect here. We have Base Learn, which is just a whole free resource on like a quick rundown. You could do this like in the span of like a few days. Like, of course, the super hack is really condensed. So hopefully you don't need to go down this path, but certainly bookmark this on docs.base.org because it's just like a free resource for later. We have like Discord channels on base.org/Discord dedicated to this, like answer questions. It's just a really like free way to level up what you're doing. As you're building things like, maybe you just want to go specifically into like on-chain app development, like some stuff about smart contracts, but setting up the front ends has always just been a big pain. Well, come over here to Base Learn. we have some really good resources here about like wiring your contracts to the front end and whatnot. We also, in general, like if you're not really sure what you want to build, you're looking in these different tracks, you can also come over to docs.base.org/tutorials. Here we just have a bunch of tutorials walking through different ways to do things on chain. And so my recommendation, if you're just really hitting a wall, like I really want to build something on Base, I'm just not sure what, just do a tutorial. Carve out 30 minutes and do one of these tutorials. And after you've spent that 30 minutes, you finish the tutorial, change one thing in the tutorial, then change something else, then spend another 30, 45 minutes just changing a few things. And then take a moment of introspection and just see like, do you have any new ideas? And I feel like going through that process, oftentimes, at least for me, is really helpful about actually maybe I'll just take I set up my own base node, but and then I changed this and that. I think it would be better if I did it this other way that I had in mind. Like go do it if you think it's better. Like I think that's probably one of the best things to bring into a hackathon is something that you tried that you felt like you had a better idea for making it better. And sometimes like, the first version might not be the better version. And then a future version, maybe it is, or most importantly, it leads to a completely new idea that turns into an opportunity to build something else that really becomes novel that a lot of people use. So I think that's really good. If you're uncertain what to do, come over to docs.base.org/tutorials. And then lastly, our homepage on docs.base.org, shadowy supercoders, experienced veterans, and all. This is the best place to come just to grok Base. And so we have pretty much everything that you need, like all like the tools that you've been familiar with. They're all compatible with Base. All the wallets that you're using, whether that's Coinbase Wallet, MetaMask, Grabby, all have Base in them. And so I would also recommend, like, as I said, spend 20, 30 minutes going through a tutorial. If you don't have an idea, spend 20, 30 minutes. Like if you have, your idea already in mind, just to click through docs.base.org, because there's definitely like a bunch of rich information here for that. And so what else? I also wanted to touch on, so we just launched a really cool thing called the Onchain Registry. And so if you're building something on Base in this Superhack, go to base.org/registry, because what this is it's an open registry that allows people to discover what you're building on Base. And this is kind of a pain point that I hear almost, I would say probably 75% or more of builders that I talk to, like this key pain of like, how do I connect with new people to use my product? How do I, get the first people in my community? How do I grow my community? How do I market this better? Like there's a lot of talented people in this space that really have a hard time doing marketing, and it's so hard. That's I mean, just bluntly, like there's no secret recipe to it. And so one way where we're trying to help is with the on-chain registry. So base.org/registry, give it a read. It's a great way for build something in the Superhack, put it in here, and then people can go onto the docs. And we actually have an API here, going back over to that for the on-chain registry. And so what that'll enable you to do, it's basically you launch something on Base, you get in the on-chain registry, you actually like propagate out into Base so that you become discoverable, so that new people that were potentially looking for what you built can now discover you. And so we're really excited about that. We feel like it's a really cool way. There's no cost. You have to have like a minimum amount in your wallet. I think it's like really, really small to submit to the registry, but you don't have to send that in. It's just mainly to keep people from spamming it. So but yeah, definitely check that out. And then the other thing that is a huge level up for yourself, if you're a builder, that we're very excited about on Base, if you haven't heard about it, is Smart Wallet. And so here I'm pulling up smartwallet.dev. What is Smart Wallet? And so for people here listening later on the recording, I think we've all been through this really awkward thing where we're trying to tell somebody about crypto, Web3, doing things on chain, and it's something they've never done before. And so we're saying, hey, like, okay, yeah, like, oh, you really go to this app. Oh, check out this that people are asking about, like a meme coin or something like that. Like, oh yeah, how do I do that? We've all been through that part where it's like, okay, well, do you have a wallet? Oh, you don't have a wallet. Okay, so here's the wallets you can use. I use this one. Okay, you need to go here. Wait, using your phone? Okay, using your phone. Okay, you need to download it. Wait, that's an okay. You gotta go Google Play. All right, great. You have your wallet. Oh, but you're gonna need some ETH. Okay, so you never used an exchange before. Okay, you need to go over here. You need to okay. You got to do KYC. Okay, that's gonna take a few. So you see that all this stuff that I'm kind of role playing right now. It's just some people are going to do that, but a lot of people are just going to be like, the hell with that. It's just too hard. No. Um, it's amazing we've gotten to such a vibrant ecosystem with so many people having to go through that. So I already feel like, as just like a demographic on this planet, we are pretty damn smart and very resilient. But there's still a lot of people that we have to help come on chain that they're smart too, but they don't want to go through all that stuff. And so that's what Smart Wallet is. And so with Smart Wallet, essentially it uses passkeys on your phone, on your computer, your tablet, and it just creates the wallet. So you don't have to deal with any of that. Like they want to go, you build an app, you enable Smart Wallet, which is already part of like the Coinbase wallet, SDK, completely self custodial. You hold the keys wallet. They don't have to go install anything. It just immediately like works for them. And then the other benefit here is we have this opportunity for you all to do what we call paymasters or sponsored transactions. And so, like in Web 2, we've all used things where, oh, yeah, you get to try it for 1 week or 1 day, or you can do a certain number of actions and, oh, you got to subscribe now. That's never been possible in Web3. And it's really important that as we want to like unlock a better planet and we want to bring more people on chain, that we have mental models that exist on chain that people are used to. And the majority of people are used to a lot of these Web2 models. So sponsored transactions are a way, going back to that earlier example, where with Smart Wallet, you can just click and it automatically uses the passkey on your device. It also allows you to sponsor transactions so that can actually use what you built without even having to go over to the exchange, wait for the KYC and all that stuff. Like you actually just start using it today. So we feel like that's a huge unlock for everyone. And so the last one thing that I wanted to show you that I feel like is a really good thing to check out as you're building in this super hack, building on Base in this super hack, is Onchain Kit. And so this is OnchainKit.xyz. If you've used Bootstrap, Tailwind, other frameworks in Web 2, when you come over to Web 3, it's kind of like, what am I going to do? Like, how do I mash all these things together? On-chain kit is the answer for that. And so, React being a very prevalent foundation within, building a full stack application on-chain kit is like immediately powering up your app, allowing you to bring in all kinds of components and features. It's completely open source. And so whether that's you want to allow people to be able to like swap inside your app that you're building. I was talking about like Farcaster. if you're building a web page, you got your web app, you can set it up to where, oh, somebody shares a link to your page on Farcaster, people that can actually transact with you on Farcaster without even having to come back over to your web page. So if you spend 20 minutes looking through docs.base.org, spend 20 minutes looking at smartwallet.dev and 20 minutes looking at onchainkit.xyz, and that's 1 hour. I guarantee you is going to change your perspective on new ways that, or rather, expose you to a new perspective on new ways that you can build on chain. And so I'm hopeful that within that, you will see like, oh, I'm going to take this one thing here. I'm going to use that one thing over there. I'm going to use sponsored transactions in this case. And so like, we're not trying to like, all this is free. Like we're not trying to sell you anything. It's literally just trying to make it easier for you to build on chain. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I was just gonna lastly like touch on if you want to connect after this workshop, definitely if you're not already there on the ETH Global website, come over to the Discord. I'm in there. You can see I'm chatting here today. And then please also, building on Base, come hang out with us in the Base Discord. There's like, I think almost 400,000 people in the community, like tens of thousands of people online every day. And so it's a great way to find your tribe, like other people that are interested in what you're interested in. Also, if you're building something, to get feedback from people, most importantly, just highly recommend coming over to base.org/discord. You can see here we were just announcing we raised the gas target to 10 m gas a second in the last 24 hours, which is exciting, making it as cheap as possible for people to do things on Base. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention, I'm very biased on this. If you're not on Farcaster, check out warpcast.com and come hang out over on Farcaster using the Warpcast client. Like Warpcast is that you can use other clients. I like Warpcast is like made by the core developers behind Farcaster, some of them. And so it's just really cool. There's all kinds of like very active people in the space doing things, chatting here. It's just a great way to connect and build meaningful relationships. I feel like even more so than using any Web2 social platform. So, all right, that's I think that's everything. And I'm surprised I was able to do that without coughing up a lung. Again, I'm sorry if I'm raspy. Feeling I can't breathe through my nose right now, but from having COVID. But anyways, thank you all so much for being here. If there's any questions, we could certainly spend some time. Be happy to try to answer those.
Yeah, thanks so much. Well, I know despite having COVID, you're here doing a workshop, so we really, really appreciate it. It was a great presentation. Just
Thank
like
you.
Will said, if there's any questions, we can take them now. You can feel free to drop them in the chat, or you can unmute and just ask them right away.
Cool.
So I have a question. What's Will's handle on Farcaster?
Sure thing. I'm going to write it in here. It's warpcast.com/WBNNS. So my name's Will Benz. My user handle is just me taking my first letter from my first name and taking the vowel out of my last name. So warpcast.com/WBNNS. Yeah, you can DM me anytime. Yeah, I really sometimes it might take me a few days to get back in touch, but it's really nothing about you, just trying to get back in touch with different people. I love talking to different people that are building and just trying to learn more about like how to connect their ideas to something live. I feel like just kind of getting on a tangent for a moment. There's so much technical talent. I feel like we're at a peak of technical talent across the entire ecosystem right now, but we're still in the early days for a lot of challenges that people have really gotten good at, like in Web 2 through like accelerators and finding like product market fit, getting user feedback and stuff like that. Really hard things about after you build the the actual thing is like, how do you get people to use it? Like, I think it's one of the hardest things. So anything about like that, feel free. Like, hey, Will, how do I get what do you think? I mean, it's just my opinion, but I do look at a lot of different apps and happy to share feedback on where I feel like I can't promise it's going to be easy, but I can tell you where um, where the gym is, so to speak, where you can really start working out and working hard to get better in the areas that you're trying to improve. So,
Awesome. Thanks, Will. We have another question. Do you think Base will ever publish a physical development book?
oh, that's a really good one. I'd love to see something like that. Going back a long time ago, I was the editor for Mastering Bitcoin and Mastering Ethereum by Andreas Antonopoulos, and it was awesome. But gosh, it was so hard to do because, especially in the context of Ethereum, the space is moving like so darn fast. So it's like you make the book like this month, in 6 months it's not going to be as accurate anymore. And so I think it'd be cool to have some type of like development book like that, but I would love for it to be some kind of open source ebook that like we can all contribute to and make better, because there's just so many things happening. And like even looking at the tracks that I spent some time going over, like social, creator, trading, payments, like you could write multiple books on any one of those on any network. And there's just so much like learning to do. And I feel like there's a way we could just put our knowledge together. It would make us so much better by not having to reinvent the wheel every time we want to move into a new area, that we don't have expertise in. So.
Nice. Nice. Thanks for answering that. Do we have any other questions for Will? All right, I'm just checking Discord. I don't see anything on Discord right now, but Will, I just wanted to thank you so much again for being with us. That was a great presentation. If anyone else does have any more questions, you can catch Will or message partner-base under the Superhack category on Discord, and Will or someone else from Base will be able to happily answer your questions. But yeah, thanks a lot, Will. We do have a question. Sorry, not a question, but just half a second says, catch you on
Yeah.
Discord. Dort says, thank you, Will.
Yeah, cheers. No, thank y'all. Like the just y'all sharing y'all's time, people later watching this recording. Thank y'all so much for just being curious about trying to be part of something that like could be an upgrade for this, like looking at the news today, this like just like what the hell? And I think it's so much because of a lot of things that got built that like the majority of people didn't have a say in this big open ecosystem that we're all part of, whether that's on Base, Ethereum, just Web3. Like I think we all just gotta just say our time's now to do this together. So not trying to be cheesy, but I really appreciate y'all sharing y'all's time. And I think that that's kind of like a key that holds us all together.
Well said. Thanks so much, Will, again, and we'll catch you on Discord.
Cool. All right. See y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.